Let me try that again. Hey everybody, it's Angel from Halo Inspirations. We give you inspirations to help you spread beauty and joy through your quilting journey. Happy Wednesday. Whoop whoop. Happy hump day to each and every one of you. I love just saying that. Now I want to let y'all know, I did see Sherry in the house. I'm having a little issue with oh, there we go. Sherry with a C and Sherry with an S. Both of y'all are in the house. Hello to each of you. So we did drop a video, and before I even begin, I got to let you know that Mayhem is out of town. I mean, he doesn't live here anyway. He's virtual. We call him the director of IO, like tech stuff, binary language. He is at a camp, a soccer camp for kids with his sister's boyfriend who runs the business. So he's out there helping out in Washington State, having a great time. So glad that he went, which, I mean, anytime you can get away, right? And because we think that my daughter's boyfriend is such a special individual, it's very nice to see Michael also joining in to give him some support and learning a lot from him. So that's always a bonus, right? But he's not here. And just so you know, Sherry with a C, I do have my phone pulled up for any text messages. I am having just a small trouble with the chat right now. But Sherry with a C is going, she has that blue wrench. And I love this. I think it was Colleen from Sews and Chats say that they have a wrench and they can throw it at you if you do something bad. We don't have problems, but every now and again we get a little troll. So Sherry with a C does have a wrench to be able to help me out on the YouTube side. Well, she can help us out on the Facebook side too, I think. We got to talk later. But Sharina, hello. So yes, I'm by myself. A video did drop. Yeah, remember when I told y'all when it's late, there's trouble. We had just small ones. Just small ones. Mostly, and not to be funny, but you could turn this into a drinking game. How many times in the video did I say, I haven't quilted in 2 years on my domestic machine? I think I said it like 8,000 times. So, and I'll tell you, the reason was it was very impressionable to me. It's 6 3/4 throat space, and I haven't done it in so long. I am sore. Okay? And what that tells me is you got to remember to hold, if you get sore, okay, like right now, this shoulder up here is tense. I don't know why, but my left leg, yesterday was my hamstring. Today it's like on the inside. I don't even use my left foot. I use my right for my pedal. I don't know what that's all about. But I just feel really sore. But what that tells me, especially on the upper side of my body, what that tells me is I was doing this, okay? And you don't want to do this. It's so easy to do that. So periodically, I would remind myself, and you want to pull in your gut. So you want to engage those abdominal muscles. That really helps keep your posture straight and bring down those shoulders while you're quilting. And that actually helps dramatically. But because I haven't done it in so long, I was constant. Yeah. So I didn't mean to keep doing that and keep saying it over and over, but y'all know I can talk. My gosh, that is a 50-minute video when you probably could do it in 30. But I love to talk and I love to be honest with you guys. So I did say at the beginning, I've never done this before. And it was one of those things I was like, oh, I could do that. It looks easy. Just get her done. It was not hard, but it was very time consuming. I think I overpinned and I'm going to tell you, I used over 150 pins. I don't think you need to do that. So that took forever. And then the quilting. They're just straight lines, guys. It was not hard. I made it easy where I just had to follow the previous line. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. but I just haven't done it in so long that it took me a while. It took me a long while. If any of y'all have been able to see the video and you have any questions, I want to remind you you can always, if you're watching hashtag replay, you can always drop them down inside here or inside the actual video out on YouTube. Either way, between Sherry and I, Sherry with a C, we'll catch it, okay? And I will be more than happy to make sure that I address any questions. But if you have them here, then we can talk about them live. Sharina says, you should always stretch, or she didn't say always, I put that in there. You should stretch before and during quilting. Oh no, absolutely. And trust me, I did. I did. I do the stretch. Plus I would get up, like I'd sew a couple lines and then I'd get up and I'd walk, and I did. But when you're like this, when you allow, it's so natural to do that when you're quilting. A lot of people do it. Like I can see it when I'm watching somebody, even though I haven't quilted in a while. If I watch somebody quilt on a domestic, it's so natural. It you know, because you're pushing fabric, so you're engaging, right? But you have to remember to drop those shoulders, relax those shoulders, and that's where the shoulder tense comes in. I'm not sore, well, this arm back here, but that's understandable. I don't use it very often. That's, you know, I need to do exercises. But my leg, I don't know. The leg thing is weird. But other than that, I'm feeling okay. It's just I knew what I was doing, and I would catch myself. Bring it down. Take a deep breath. Relax. Relax, relax, relax. You don't want to be tense. But you're right, Sharina. You do want to stretch. Stretching is very, very important. When I know that people say that quilting is not physical. Oh, that's because they haven't quilted. And even on my long arm, it requires a different set of muscles. And you have to be cognitive of what you're doing there too. Most of all, you're on your feet a lot. And you can definitely tense while you're doing it if you're doing any free arm. But even though I'm using robotics, yes, I'm much more relaxed. I'm much more able to just, you know, let the machine do the work. But I don't leave the machine at all. Like, I don't even go into the other room. That's one of the reasons it takes me so long, because I have to walk away from it. So I have to wait till it's done with the first run or the second run or whatever. I don't leave it. So I am on my feet the entire time. And that's an issue too. So you got to, and it takes a lot of muscle. I want to say it does do muscle memory, but there's a word I'm looking for. But you need to build up yourself to whatever style you're doing. Even if you're on a long arm that's sit down, it's easy to do this too. Okay, so you got to relax and you got to train yourself how to keep yourself protected. So, relax is hard. It is. You're absolutely right, Sherry. That's why I said I had to keep reminding myself. And I'm paying for the time that I didn't. Because it's this shoulder right here. Yeah, it's this one. So, Sherry with an S did say, relax is harder than it sounds. It is. You're absolutely right. But you train yourself. And I was doing real good when I was doing a bunch of domestic quilting. It became a habit. But because I haven't done it so long, it was a retrain. And I'm glad it happened. And I'm glad that I did this project. Not just because I really think this is a fantabulous inspiration for a lot of people. But also because it reminded me what a lot of y'all are doing. Because most people don't have, well, I shouldn't say that. A lot of people don't have long arms. A lot of people don't have robotics. And this is a 6 3/4 foot. Now, some people have bigger, or I keep saying foot, throat. Some people have domestics with a larger throat space, which is a bonus. But it's still smaller than a long arm, number one. And number two, if you got one that's itty bitty like me, it was a reminder of what everybody's doing. And so when I talk about stuff, it allows me to, it was a really, really good practice and reminder of what, a lot of you, because I have a lot of beginners out here, a lot of you are going through. And I knew it before because I was doing it, but it was such a good reminder. I actually did enjoy it. It just took forever. It took forever. Okay. So Sherry with an S says, "Oh, I got 2 quilts back from the quilter last weekend. You're hoping to bind." Whoop, whoop. Now, see, this one is bound, and the reason is I had to get it all done because the chenilling happens when you wash it. But we're going to talk just a little bit. Sherry with a C, "It is always my neck and shoulders that bother me." Okay, when you're quilting, Sherry with a C, I used to do this a lot when I was domestic. I used to talk to people a lot about it. You got to make sure you engage those abdomens so you're sucking in that gut, pulling your back straight, okay? I know it seems really odd, but you will get used to it. Sit on the edge of your chair. You don't want to be all the way back. And make sure, see where your shoulders are. Pull them down. Pull them down. And at first, I will tell you, many moons ago when I was domestic quilting, it was kind of weird for me at first to put my shoulders down and do it. But after a while, it becomes very habitual. And it will help if you just drop those shoulders, make sure your back is straight, your abdomens are engaged, and then push. Because you are pushing. I do remember that. But you're not on a little throat. You have a long arm. Sharina says, "You quilted the crayon quilt on my Bernina B215 on Saturday." Yes. And I want to tell you, Sharina, my daughter was, today, she was inside Creative Kingdom looking at, she was on her feed on Facebook. And your quilt from Creative Kingdom came up. And she loves it. She was like, "Oh my gosh, that is so cute." You did a good job, girl. It is super darling. Now, just out of curiosity, Sharina, what is your throat space? Do you know on your Bernina B215? I'm just curious. Okay, so a video did drop. Oh, I got a question for you guys. So we started doing this very recently, and Michael's going to be the one who's going to come up with some fun questions. He ain't here. So what are we doing? I hope nobody else is on Facebook and I just don't see it. So let me just pull that up real quick. I did, you might hear it for just a second, guys. Yeah. How do I go live? It's here. I know y'all are hearing the music because it's on a, how do I go live? It's okay. Okay, I don't have anybody in here. I just want to make sure I'm not losing them. Now when I click it to look, it's going to be fine. You shouldn't hear it. I'm so sorry. I'm by myself, guys, so bear with me. But my question is, so I got, and maybe one of y'all know, I thought this was the strangest thing. It just popped up. I think it was yesterday. Let me look to see exactly what it says. So on my phone, it says, it came up on the 9th. I haven't done it yet. I haven't updated my phone. Here we are on the 12th. And so it's been 3 days. And I left it there because it's a constant reminder that I need to do this. But it says, new time zone definitions are available. Time zones will be updated the next time your phone restarts. Okay. I got to ask, guys. New time zone definitions. New time zone definitions. Does anybody know what that means? I mean, we've all had the same time zones for years. Now, I don't know if they passed it because they were thinking come November when we were supposed to fall back. I don't know if we'll fall back and then that's the time, or if we don't fall back. I think we fall back. I don't know. And I don't even know if the law was passed where we were going to get rid of spring forward and fall back. You know, the standard time versus the daylight time. I have no idea. And I don't know if it's related to that. And so I'm kind of curious if anybody else knows. Because I don't know what that means. Now, I haven't done any Google research because I've been working on this sucker for days. So, yeah. Just kind of curious if any of y'all have seen that on your phone. And if you happen to know what in the world that any of that means. Okay. So that was the first thing. That's my question, because inquiring minds want to know, or at least this one does. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So I do have both panels up here because I thought it was important to show, I keep moving, and I'm going to move this over a little bit because I do know that it does work better if I'm a little closer. But the reason is because this one is the original and this one is the chenille. And the black, it looks gray, right? Well, the reason is because of the chenille. Oh, okay. I did one picture. I wanted to see which one I did. I'm going to hit refresh because I don't know if any of y'all. Okay. So, see, I didn't see this. Sharina did say it's about a 6 1/4. Oh! Breathe. I'm feeling you, girl. Okay? I'm feeling you. Honestly. It ain't easy. So I can completely understand why you have more tops than you have quilts. I get it. It's a hard one. And I will tell you, I've done a lot of domestic quilting on this machine. I mean, big suckers. I've done a lot. So I feel you. It's out there. You're not alone. But I get it now. 6 1/4 is not very big. Okay. So, it's gray. I want to tell y'all, it looks gray far away because when you chenille, the fabric inside the actual threads, they're not as colored. Okay, they do look a little different. And you can tell, like, it's so easy. Oh, it's kind of like the backing is showing of the fabric. Oh, yes, very good. So it's like when you cut it, the backing of the fabric is also being exposed, and it's much lighter. So that's, because we're chenilling it, that's what it looks like. Now, that's a good question. You know how some fabric is, we'll just go with solids, right? You can't tell the difference. I'm sure that color would be very, very different because that's what you're seeing in the gray is the backing with it, with the chenille. So, I wanted to give you an update with that, but also, number one, I did not fuse this. I did not spray baste in the beginning of the video. And I'm telling you guys, so here's what I ended up doing, which is the biggest, I'm being real with you guys. So it's the biggest mistake ever. I should have, I did a lot of pinning before I actually fused it. And it dawned on me. So I didn't want to pull all the pins. There were a lot when I figured it out. In the center. Okay, not on the top, not on the bottom, but right in the middle. And I just didn't want to do it. So I just fused at that point. Okay. Don't do that either. Pull the pins. But the whole thing is, what I want to say, you really do want to, basically, if you're going to use batting, you're going to have the bottom panel, the batting, and the backing. You're basically going to make that sandwich. I wouldn't pin it because the pins will be in between. And then you'll have even more of a nightmare. So you definitely have to figure out a different way to fuse it. That's when I use the 505 spray. You probably could use homemade spray based. I didn't try that. That's a what if. That's a good one. You know, be another experiment. But the thing about homemade spray based is sometimes it'll crinkle because, you know, fabric shrinks, everything shrinks when it's cotton, right? So sometimes you'll see some puckering and it smooths out. It's not a big deal. So I don't know if it would be a big deal. I would try it. I mean, listen, I try a lot of stuff. So any way that you do it. Now, I've seen a lot of people, they do it with fusible batting. You could do that too. Okay. Anything that can get that initial sandwich. I had a sandwich, but mine was just a panel and the backing. I didn't put batting in it. It was just my own thought process because I'm just going to hang it on the wall. So I didn't feel like I needed that dimension. Okay. Hold on, I'm reading my notes because I want to make sure. And the reason I would do that is, biggest reason, it will prevent puckers. That's the biggest reason. Because if you're not putting that last 2 rows together, that last section together, when you pin, it's very easy to get puckers. I actually had one, but it in the area that I didn't fuse, but it washed out. It wasn't too bad, just so you know. But it will help you prevent any puckers, and that's the name of the game. You don't want puckers on the backside. You don't see the backside. You want to make sure it's straight, flat, even, ready to go. Pinning it all together like that really will help prevent puckers. But I will also tell you, as you pin, if you don't fuse the last layers, when you're putting the third panel to the rest, you're going through with the pinning, if you don't fuse them, it becomes harder and harder and harder to manipulate the pin. You always have to be cognitive of where you're pinning and move yourself down and out. Okay? Or out and down. Nope, you got to be down and out. You got to start through the center. And the reason is because we're pulling up all those layers like an onion, right? If I pin outside and lower, when I go to pin again, it may not pull the fabric up right. And then you're like, I did it. This is why I'm telling you. You're like looking in this tiny space, okay? So you want to be cognitive to always, you know, pin higher and bring it down, and pin center and bring it out. Okay. Plus it always helps with making sure the fabric is not going to pucker again. Quilt as you go method is great for domestic. It is. You're right, Sharina. We plan on doing something. Oh, that's Sherry. Sherry with a C. It is. And we do plan on doing something quilt as you go in the future. So that is coming. Sorry, I'm having a problem with this. Y'all know me. I hate these buds. Okay. So big thing. I wanted to stress that. The other thing, I did use my little green pins, magic pins, the little green ones, right? Because I have a lot of them. But I will tell you, the longer pins work better. Okay? Because the one thing I told y'all, I reminded you to check your pins when you turn your fabric. Please turn your fabric. We're going to talk about that. But check your pins. Check your pins. I can't tell you how many pins went pew, pew. They popped off. They went. I actually have a blooper at one point. I'll share in the future. While I was pinning, I had one pop. And it went clear out into Nova Scotia. I have yet to find that pin. But while I was quilting, if I wasn't cognitive of everything that was going on, I had pins that came out. All of a sudden it'd be laying there or flung across the... I'd see it fly. Oh, y'all. I had a party here, okay? We had a pinning party. I don't pin. So this was, even when I domestically quilted, I did not use pins. I do have an idea about that, but it's more time consuming, and I don't know. Pinning was a lot. But you got to be cognitive of all those pins that you're putting in there. So the longer pins I would suggest for sure. Oh, okay. Here we go. This is where we're going to talk a little bit about stitching and such. Okay. What I didn't do, and of course I did tell y'all I wasn't thinking, and I starched the first two panels. Don't do that. Okay. Please don't do that. And the reason is because when you do that, it gets wonky because different places will shrink differently. And so your panels are a little harder to line up, and it may look like it's going to pucker. And it didn't, but it may look like some are bunched because this area shrunk different. So just press them. However, I will also tell you, and I didn't do this, and there are two things that I didn't do, or that I did and didn't do that I paid for, and I'm going to talk about it here. The first one is squaring the panel. I did a video on it. I think it's called Squaring Panels. If they're not square, you may see a problem in the end. Okay? You may not, because I did something else. But I didn't square my panels. I did tell y'all, because I was working with such a small space and I was really heavy in pins, that I felt it was easier for me to just stitch all along. And so what ended up happening, I'll have to analyze it a little better. And it's really hard for you to see this. Okay? Even up close, it's hard. So the physical side, you can't see. Okay? But I tell y'all, when you start and you stitch and you go back to the same side that you started with before and you stitch again. I talk about it in the video, and I'm very serious, guys. A lot of times it will tend to curve. Okay? It's a natural thing that happens. How can you prevent that? You can start on one side and stitch. When you turn your fabric, start the same place you ended and stitch back. And that'll help keep this, it'll keep going back and forth instead of making that turn. Okay? You can't see it in the chenilling, but in the black, I even had a turn. And I made one that was much wider than normal to get it back to straight. I'm going to tell you the problem with this, okay? And I'm being very, very forthright. Okay, so whatever you do, I would encourage you to either you start and stop on the same side, or I would use a different marking method that will keep you straight. Oh, even then, you're still going to have pull. I would just encourage to keep going back and forth. I will do that on my next, when I do this again. I will do it again, but I'm going to wait for my sit down long arm to make it a little easier on my body. But this is definitely something that I would start and stop for sure. Pull threads. Don't do the, like I said in the video, don't do the initial turn like that. That creates a nightmare for cutting. But definitely stitch one direction. If you end here, the next stitch needs to start here, and then you come back. And here's what happened, guys. You can't see it, but what has happened, now you're stitching on a bias, okay? Which is another issue. So what ended up happening is my panel is not straight. It's curved, meaning one side is longer. It's longer down here than it is over there. And it's longer over there than it is over here. So what I'm going to do, and I don't know if any of y'all have done this, I'm going to block this. I've never blocked while it's bound. Usually but I had to for the video. I had to get it bound. I had to get it washed. I had to get this done. But I'm going to attempt to block it bound. I can hear some of y'all going, oh, I'm going to do it. If you've never blocked a quilt, let me know, because we can talk about that another time. I can definitely do a video. Oh, here we got some. Hey there, Mom. Over on Facebook, I got some messages, so I'm going to pause here for just a second. Hey there, Mom. Glad to see you. Is this 2 finished panels? Didn't have time to watch video. No, Mom. This one is finished. It's chenilled. I never know which way to go. And this is the original panel. Okay. This is why the white's out here, because that's your selvage all along here. So this is the original panel, and this one is chenilled. You got to watch the video, Mom. All right. Oh, and then thank you. I'm guessing that's Sherry. The one on the left is chenille panel, and the one on the right is the original print. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Okay, so if you've never blocked a quilt, I will tell you I have read in 80,000 different places, every quilt could use blocking. But see, a lot of times it don't matter. You don't need it to hang perfectly straight. This is a wall hanging. I've never had a wall hanging do this, but it's because I didn't stitch it right. Or I didn't square them to begin with, and they were all that way. They all could have been that way, and I'm just stitching away. But I think both things added to it. So I've never had a wall hanging do this, but this is the kind of thing that you want it to lay straight. Okay. So I'm going to block it bound and pray it works. And, like I said, hashtag replay. If you've never blocked a quilt, I will probably do a video on if you haven't, I'll take pictures of this and I'll share it inside Creative Kingdom. Okay. Of me doing this process. Now, it won't happen until I came back from the retreat. It's just going to stay the way it is. In far away like this, you can't really see it, but trust me, it needs blocked. So I'm going to try it with binding. But usually you do it before it's bound. And if you don't know or haven't ever done blocking, let me know, and I'll do a whole video on it, and I'll just take a quilt that we do, and I'll not bind it, and then we'll block it together. Yeah, right there. Woohoo! That'll be fun. Maybe I'll do it anyway. All right. So, but they do say every quilt can benefit from blocking, but I will tell you, not every quilt needs to be. If it ain't perfectly straight, it is not the end of the world. But sometimes you do want them straight, right? Okay. So I wanted to talk about square your panels. Whenever you get a panel, square your panel. Oh, it's huge. It will help you immensely no matter what you're doing with the panel. And it's not hard. And it doesn't take much time. Shame on me for not squaring my panel. Second of all, stitch, like I said, from this side to that, ending here, cut threads, turn it, start where you ended, and stitch the other direction, because it'll help with the shifting. Okay? All right. Speaking of that, I did say in the video, I wasn't sure if I had to, when I use the chenille tool, there are 4 panels on here and a backing, right? So I cut the 3 panels on the top, and I'm sitting there like, do I really need to do that? Can I just cut, not the backing, but all the panels? And Eric was like, no, you can't do that. He was right. I mean, I was just thinking, right? So we're talking as we're doing this. And the reason is, inside this, actually, I think, no, I didn't. I give you a close-up, 2 close-up pictures in the video, because I wanted you to be able to see it. It changes when you're far away and when you're up close. Okay. But inside where you're not cut, the original panel is showing. Okay. So it is important that you don't cut the first layer panel, just the stuff above it. Okay. Eric was right. Shh. We don't have to tell anybody. Okay. I did talk about body mechanics already. Okay. The last thing is, well, first, does anybody know anything about the time zone? Have you seen, just tell me if you've seen that on your phone. I have a Samsung Android. I don't have an Apple. I know a lot of you do have Apples. I don't know if Apple has that. I don't know if they show you different. I don't know how Apple works. I don't have an Apple phone. I should probably ask my daughter. She loves Apple. She's the only one in the family, but she loves Apple. But have you seen that where it says time zones, new definition? I'm like, what? Let me just check over here real quick. Okay. Just trying to keep it real here for myself, because I want to make sure that I see you. I feel a little lost in the sauce when I don't see my peeps. Because y'all know I can talk to myself, but I don't like to. Okay, so for this week, for the product, I'm going to bring you down a little bit. And you have Apple and you didn't see the time zone message. Thank you, Sherry with a C, because I'm struggling with that. I'm like, why are we having new definitions? There isn't anything changed. It's been this way for decades. Okay. That was so weird. I'm going to Google it. Not today, not tomorrow, and not Friday. But I'm going to Google it before I let it do its thing. And we'll go from there. Okay, so a couple of things. We're going to talk about, for products, we're going to talk about the Chenille cutter. And I want to tell y'all, I have in my pocket, I'm digging in my pocket, I have a brush. I put stuff in my pockets all the time, and I usually check them. But this brush went in the wash with my clothes. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of things, and we're going to talk about some things with the Chenille cutter. And I do show you how to use it in the video, and I do talk about the different ways to turn it and what the different clicks mean. All right, so let me go ahead and make sure we are good before I make you all dizzy. I don't want to make you dizzy. I still haven't made myself a mouse pad, so you're going to see that. Okay. Well, I'm leaving myself up, I guess. It's already there, so why not? Here we go. All right. So, yep, here's my mouse. Right now it only works on my cutting mat. Okay. So, this is what it looks like when you get it. Now, what you don't always get to see, people always tell you, oh, you'll get a pamphlet and it'll tell you how to do things. Well, it does even have little pictures in the packaging. Okay. And it does tell you on this one, it says 48 layers that you can use, which I cut 3. I cut 3. I had 5, but I cut 3 of them. So you can do up to 8. What? Okay. You stitch your channels. Okay. And then you slice the channels just like I showed y'all. And then you fluff them. Now the fluffing, I did the easy method and threw it in the wash. Okay. But what people never really show you, I did talk about this in the video, and I said, we get a pamphlet and it explains how to change the blade and stuff. This is the actual pamphlet that you'll get. And man, look at this. Okay, so remember I told you, well, hopefully, because if you haven't watched the video, this is going to be new information. But these outside, they're called guides. To me, they look like feet, because you put the fabric underneath to cut, or on top of the foot, in between the foot and the blade to cut it. So it's kind of like a foot to me, but they're called guides. Now, what's really cool, I did tell you in the video that you're going to have to, the foot has to be, it has to fit in the channel. And I'm going to tell y'all, if it doesn't fit, you won't be able to cut. Okay. So what I love about this is on their pamphlet, they tell you the small is 1/8 of an inch. So without experimenting, I don't know if I had an 1/8 of an inch. Boy, that's a small channel. I don't think I'm doing that. But I don't know if it's an 1/8 of an inch and then you try to put it in there, if it would cut. Because you have the seams on the sides and it pulls on the fabric. So I'm not sure if that would work. I think if you had an 1/8 of an inch, you could use it on a 1/4 inch seam or distance between channels. Okay. So then the medium is a 1/4 inch. Well, that's really, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So I told y'all my gaps were 3/8. So 3/8 is bigger than a 1/4. So that's why the medium was working. Okay. Your large is 3/8. So I'm guessing it has to be a little bigger than 3/8. And then the double large is, or LL, whatever they mean by that, is a 1/2 inch. So that tells you the distance of the channel guide. I think. I don't know if it means, yeah, there's no way. I don't know. See that? This is pretty skinny, guys. Whoop, you can't see that. It's pretty skinny. That's the 1/8 inch and this is the 1/4. It's much different. Can you, oh, that's a double large. What am I? I'm so sad. I'm like, man, that was really big. Shouldn't be that big. Okay. So that's your 1/8 of an inch. Okay. That's the width. And then that's your 1/4. So it is slightly bigger. Okay. The guide has to fit in the channel in between the 2 stitches. So I love this guide or this part of the pamphlet for you, but it also has your blade replacement. Okay. Which it's not a rotary cutter, so you can't put a rotary blade in here. So they do have the Chenille cutter blades as refills. Now we have both of these in the shop if you are very interested in trying this out and doing. We're going to do some more with this because I have other ideas like we talked about in the video. But yeah, that's what the pamphlet is. It does talk about how to select your channel guide, how to replace your blade, what the different sizes are, and also utilizing the Chenille cutter on how to get this done. And I will tell you, I was exposed to this. Olfa is a wonderful company, guys. They are huge, wonderful to all of the people, both consumers and retail salespeoples or wholesalers. They are very, very supportive to everybody. They're an amazing company. And I don't say this often. I say it about Riley Blake because I believe that too. That is another amazing company that I absolutely cannot say enough good about. Olfa is right along with that. They are truly an amazing company. So last fall, had to have been, Olfa came out to retailers and offered us a class, well, a couple of classes with their marketing company and them. And not only did they talk about marketing in general, and I mean, because it was a marketing company that Olfa uses, and then Olfa was there, but I mean, they're reps, but I mean, as far as the class, they were talking about different marketing things, different things, all kinds of different things, but they also showed us how to find resources. Now they're so generous, I'm telling you, but as a consumer, Olfa.com can be a huge resource for you too. They do so much. Their Instagram is fed a lot of stuff. They're just a really, really great company. And I love their products. My favorite rotary cutter still today is Olfa. I I've used a lot of different ones, but I really like Olfa still. That doesn't mean in the future I won't change my mind. I'm still trying to get used to the Martelli one. I've also tried Fisker, but none of that, all of them have their, for each person it might be different, but you know, what feels good to you, what works right for you, what helps you. It's kind of like quilting. There are 80,000 different methods, and so every method is okay when you get to the same finish line. The same thing with product. You might find another brand that you prefer, and there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean anything. What's important is it works for you. And for me, it's Olfa. I just love me some Olfa. And so when they came out giving all this extra stuff to the retailers and how much they're supportive, and then seeing what they do for consumers in general, you know, quilters in general, or crafters, because there's a lot of craft stuff too, I was blown away. They really do a lot of work, and they really do care. Sherry with an S. I have not seen that note, and you have an apple, so it's just not apple. Oh, Sherry with an S says, sorry for the slow responses. She's also sewing. You go, girl. You sew away. Let me come back at you, though, because that's what I wanted to share. Oh, one more thing. I brought the brush out. I talked about the brush, and then I didn't show you why. Okay, I'm going to turn this light down. I should have done that before, but I didn't. Okay. So, we did talk about when you want... Okay, this is a stationary blade. So, some of this is a repeat if you've seen the video. Okay. So, the black note here says, turn to get new edge. So this is a stationary blade. It's not a rotary blade that keeps turning. So when you cut, okay, you're cutting in the same spot over and over. Okay. So when you feel it get dull, I waited. This is the last turn. I probably could have turned more. Let me just be real. I should have turned more. It cuts a while. But the whole quilt, I use 9 spots. So when you need a new spot, and you'll know it, guys, because it's harder to start, and it doesn't cut this. It doesn't feel like butter anymore. You'll know when you have to turn it. So when you need a new place on the blade, you have up to 24, and you turn it in the direction of the black, which says I turn it this way. So we're going to turn it. Okay. So I went one. Oh, I only used 6. Oh. I should have used more. Okay, so I just turned it to 7. Now, what I want you to see the gook? See that? So what'll happen, and you might, oh, look, I even see it back here on a different side. Okay, so this is actually the double L, and when I turned it, there's some fabric in there. Okay, all right. So don't put your fingers in there, guys. Listen. Y'all saw me wearing a Band-Aid. That little scab is from a potato peeler. That will probably do worse than the potato peeler. All right. So you just want to take, you know, your brush. I actually, at one point, I couldn't find my brush because it was in the dryer. So I took a little pin, but you can clean out, especially on the side that you're going to cut. So this is my medium. Okay, so, and you can tell that the medium is exposed because of this little triangle. It's not yellow. So like this is large, this area is yellow. Okay. So then I just, like I said, I happen to notice on the back side. So you can always just take your little brush and clean out some of that fuzz. And I've had more than that. That's a little bit. I've seen more. Okay. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Excuse me. Okay. So I wanted to give you a little heads up. Every time you make a click, or even if you're cutting, sometimes longer strands will get cut up in there. You'll just see different things. And I didn't talk about that during the video. And I think I'd be like, wow, nobody said anything about that. Oh yeah, it does collect in there as you're cutting. So you just want to take your little brush and, you know, give it some maintenance and get it all cleaned out. And trust me, it'll build up and you'll get some little fuzzies. Okay. Some quilting bling. All right. Let me go back here. I'm going to come back at you guys. It's always a fun thing. Let me go back on the other side. Nope. Okay, let me go check this. I think we're good. Sherry with a C. I didn't miss anything, did I? So that's what I wanted to share with you. Now, as far as other new products, what I got in heavy just today, I got in a lot. I got several more battings in. Now, I want to let y'all know that on our website, it's 15% off any batting. That's an automatic discount. It'll show up at checkout. Okay, so when you're looking at the prices, they're on the website. You can go to Halo Hop Down. That's all of the things that are on sale for that month. It's batting. All the batting is 15%. Okay. So if there's something on sale, because I can't remember if I still have hobs on sale. I only have a couple of hobs because we want to make sure we sell that and then move forward with just Quilter's Dream because they're my favorite and I really stand. I love hobs. That's a great product. Please understand. I just like Quilter's Dream more. Another phenomenal company. I like working with great companies. So, if it's on sale, the auto discount will also apply. But you can't, if you have a discount code, it won't work in conjunction. Okay, so if you have a 10% discount code out there and you haven't used it, you can't use it at the same time as the 15% off batting. It's either one or the other. Okay. And 15 is more than 10. So I'd keep the 15 if I were you. But it's automatically, it's through the month of April because we know how much everybody's been quilt. And we know that y'all are going to ready. You've been piecing. You have your toppers. You have a lot of them. So now it's time to get them quilted, right? So it's our way of supporting that and giving a discount off of batting to you for 15% off for the whole month up until April 30th of 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. Okay? So if you live on the West Coast, that'd be 8:59. So you always have to take that in perspective too. But it can be used all month. So if you buy batting and realize that you want some more, you can still buy more. But we did stock up some more, so I'll get all that. We have one new size because I'm trying to build more sizes for you guys to add to one of them. I don't know which one, really. I don't. So I'll make sure. Michael's, he's away, so it's me that has to get this done. So I'll make sure to get that done in the next day or two. Get all that product in for batting if you're interested. It is Quilters. We do have a couple of hobs, not much. But the rest of it is Quilter's Dream, and there's a lot of variety for you to pick from. If you ever see something and you are wanting something that I don't have, and you know what, guys, it doesn't matter if it's fabric, if it's notions, if it's batting, feel free to email us, and we will definitely take a look at that. And if I can get it, I've done this a number of times. If I can get it, I will. Okay? I can't always promise it because of the time frames and different ways that you have to order things. But if I can, I will. And I'll get it out there for you. So that includes batting. Batting's a lot easier, just so you know, to get. Okay? You have the Ulfa. That's what I have. Oh, I don't have it with me. So Sharina says, miss nothing. Thank you. Sherry with a C. Sharina says, I have the Ulfa. I always say this wrong. You know I say words wrong all the time, guys. Ergonomic 45 millimeter cutter and the 60 millimeter frisker. I tend to cut myself more. Okay. I will tell you, Sharina, I use the 45 millimeter ergonomic Ulfa cutter, rotary cutter. And I too have a Fisker 60 millimeter cutter. I'm with you on the same boat. Now I don't cut myself with rotary cutters, but I'm laughing because it makes me think of my daughter. She actually has cut herself with a rotary cutter on her wrist. Don't know how that happens, but she did. Not her fingers, her wrist. It's still a family joke. So that's why I chuckle. But I just, the way that the Alpha, now I'm buying an Alpha for because we use a 60 millimeter for the Pack-A-Mats. So I'm buying him an Alpha one along with some replacement blades. So they will be in our shop in case anybody wants a 60 millimeter, because it allows you to cut thicker fabric. Okay. Because it sits higher away from your ruler. And for those of you who needle felt, like Sharina, I bet you that's why she was doing it. Oh no, you forgot your clamps. God bless. I hope you don't have any puckers. Or your tension's okay. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Sherry. Sherry just said laugh out loud. She was listening and forgot her clamps. I am so sorry. Anyway, we will be holding them in the shop, but I'm buying that for Eric because I'm wondering if they're, if they feel the same as the 45, because I really like the way the 45 feels. Frisker, I will tell you, they are a fantabulous company, and they bought, there is a line of scissors. I can't remember the name of it at the top of my head right now. But if I said the name to you, you would absolutely know, and they're high quality. Fisker actually owns them. So they are a phenomenal company. I just prefer the Alpha, the way it feels. It feels more sturdy, more thick. Maybe it's the ergonomic feature of it. That might have something to do with it. I don't know. But I'm getting the 60 milliliter, and we're going to go from there. So anybody in the future, I mean, this is like within the next couple weeks, we're going to have them up on our website if you're looking for them. And we do currently have the Alpha rotary cutters, and we have them in the original yellow, which you see all the time me using in videos. And then I really want one, but I have to buy it, and I've got so many things I got to buy anyway. I want the blue. We have Pacific Blue. That's one of Halo's colors, brand colors. I really like it. But I have to buy a lot of other stuff first before I can buy another rotary cutter. So just because the color is not a good reason just to buy one. But eventually I will. But we do have them in blue right now. And we'll keep an eye out for any specials, because sometimes they do special colors. So if I see any pop up, I will definitely grab some of those too. Oh my gosh, I'm still looking at Sherry's thing, and she said she forgot her clamps. I feel bad. But that's what I wanted to talk about as far as product. It was definitely the Chenille cutter, because we do have that in the store. Yes. And I was talking to Sherry with a C. I hope you don't mind me saying this, Sherry. Usually you don't. She says, she doesn't have a walking foot on her long arm. Well, when I do it, and I'll do another video with it. I hate pins. Oh, okay. Hate pins. I did see somebody do this where they glued it instead of using pins. Now, the bonus behind that is you don't have all the pins to contend with. I hate pins when you're quilting. I hate them. And then, of course, I don't think you can see it anymore back this far. But I've got all over. I mean, I just kept hitting pins and pins and ow, 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 as I was quilting. I just don't like pins. So you can glue. But the thing is, you'll have to glue. So let's say we have 4 panels. You'll have to glue the bottom 2, you'll have to do 2 first. The top, number 1, number 2 together. Hit the right spots and glue it. Okay. Then you can add, those 2 to the 3rd one. And then add the 3rd one to the 4th one. For me, that was like a lot more work, because you have to do each individual layer, where the pinning, you do all 4 at the same time. Yeah. Now, the other thought, this is a what if question, and you know how much I love doing what ifs. What if you did the pin and then glue as you go, right? And then you have it all pinned, and once everything is pinned, you can pull them all out before you quilt it. That's an idea. But on the long arm, my sit down, it's in Pennsylvania right now. Hopefully it can get fixed. They think they can, so hopefully. And then it'll be in the shop. But I would use a ruler to keep the straight line. I would draw the initial. I'd still do that so that I could line up the ruler with the line, right? The first one. And then after that, just use the ruler to do the quilting. If you still have pins, you're still going to have to contest with the pins. I hate pins. I hate pins when quilting, but I'm telling you, it works. It works phenomenally. Okay? No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't know how well the glue works, but the pins work. So, you got to do the pins. But that's what I plan on doing when I get my sit down back. I will do this again with a sit down. We'll have another visit because I'll use the ruler and the ruler foot. So we'll have another visit doing this, but it'll be a little different. But like I also said, I have some more ideas what to do with the chenille cutter. There's a lot of things you can do. And there's a lot of things you can do with the panel, even with chenille cutters. You don't have to do the whole panel, guys. What? Yeah, you don't have to. So let's say I had an alpaca, because you know I love alpaca fiber. If you have an alpaca, big old alpaca, background green in the field or something, or sky blue, doesn't matter. You can actually, what you'll have to do is you would, instead of chenilling this, it has to be done on on your bias angle, on your 45-degree angle. It has to be done. That's how it works. So you could just outline your object that you want to chenille and then stitch 45-degree angles, and they can go different 45s. Like you could have some going this way, some going that way. It don't matter. Okay? As long as they're on 45. And then you take some scissors to get yourself started because they'll be closed, and you can cut those inside there. Okay? That's another video because I plan on doing that too. I want some alpaca fiber now. I mean, an alpaca print. I got to find one. Because I'd love to hang that. Oh, I'd love to hang that. But you don't have to do the whole thing. You can just pick areas that you want to do. So just know it'll cause a little more work because you'd have to do your diagonals. You'd have to trace the object so that it's sealed. Whatever you don't chenille has to be quilted regular because you still need quilting to hold the layers together, guys. You don't want to not quilt something. It'll ruin it. So, and if you have batting, it'll migrate big time. So you still got to quilt, but it'll be like regular quilting in the places that you don't do. Oh, which reminds me, you want to see the picture? Let's see. So that is just quilted. Oh, you can't see that. This is just quilted, guys. I did not start cutting yet. And I know it's really hard. Well, I don't know how hard it is. You can on YouTube, you can make it bigger. Interesting idea, right? Okay. I got to come back because I see some stuff in the chat. What I did this in black thread. I did talk about that in the video. This is in black thread, guys. Ooh, can I make this bigger? Let me just, won't let me go any bigger than that. Okay, I wish I could, I don't know. I thought this looked so cool. Oh, you can't see that. I'm not used to this transition thing. I need to take it off. There we go. I thought this was so cool just by itself. So I use black thread and all those lines. I thought it was so cool looking. I almost wanted just to keep it just like that. I thought it added I'm not one to do quilting with black thread. Now in the black, I didn't show you the top because it's all black up there with a couple butterflies. So it wasn't as pronounced, but isn't that just the coolest thing, guys? So that's what it looked like before I cut it up. And I really liked it. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk? I didn't think. that turned out really cool. So Sherry with an S is interesting idea. Yeah, just to do the chenille in one area. I got another idea too. I'm telling you guys, I got so many ideas. It's not even funny. Really. Okay. I'm not going to do them all at once, but periodically you're going to see some chenille cutter coming out. Okay. Because there's a lot of different things you can do with this, and I can't wait to share them with you all. So Sharina, did Missouri Star start their pre-order with the Christmas box? I am under the impression it started, I think it was either the 9th or the 10th. I haven't done mine yet, so I kind of need to get on it. Are you buying one this year, Sharina? Oh, and then Sherry with a C, you did see that they started the pre-order. Yep. I'm going to see if I can still get mine. It was for a period of time, so I don't think you're too late if you're still interested. But very good question, Sharina. Thank you for bringing that up, because I have some other ideas what I want to do next for this upcoming year. Because we had some fun with it going in, and we opened inside Creative Kingdom. We opened the box every day. Every day, guys. It was fun to do that. And then we try to guess and different things. I have one more idea what I'd like to do with it. So, on top of that, if anybody's interested this year, we can do the opening again. I would definitely do that 100% again. You're not so sure? Okay. Well, let me know. I will be buying one regardless if anybody else is coming along. I'm buying one because it was fun. It was so much fun. And I learned some things about some new products and such. Like that magic iron. Y'all haven't seen that? I'll bring that out. I'll bring that out next time. We'll do a little thing on I can dirty my iron for you. And we can do a little thing real quick on a live. So you can actually see this. I love that stuff. The magic iron away. I don't know. It's in the website. We bought it because I fell in love with it. It worked awesome. So there's a lot of things I learned out of it. Plus, it's just fun getting something new every day, right? All right. So that's what I got for today. Thank you all for stopping by. Check out the video. Let me know what you think. And I did blow it up. And it was funny because my husband came down here, and up close, the details fade. I mean, you can tell, right? The details are different because it's chenilled. But when you step away, you can see more of it's so weird. But you can see all the more, like far away, even on video, I can see like the little stuff that goes on inside. I don't know what those things are called. Inside the flowers. The butterflies are more pronounced far away than they are up close. So I wanted to show you the up close because I didn't want anybody to be surprised. I think this has a lot of detail, but if you have a panel, and I love it, don't get me wrong, but if you have a panel that doesn't have quite as much detail, I don't know. What would that do? I guess it just depends. I don't know. See, we got more what ifs, guy. We're going to play. We're going to have some fun. More inspiration down the line. But thank you all for stopping by. I hope you enjoy the video. It is a long one, so you can just play it. Sherry with an S. You can play the video and just let it run. I do that a lot, guys. So that's why I say that. I do it all the time. Even podcasts. I play them. And books. Sharina's got me into some books. So I like to have noise in the background. I can't watch movies, but I can listen to various different things, to include YouTube videos. I love listening to YouTube videos. So yeah, it's 50 minutes, guys. I hope you enjoy it. I made, I did a couple of things that were like, glad you could see it so that you know what not to do. But it's definitely out there for you. I hope it's inspiring. It's definitely something to absolutely try at least once. If we ever see each other in person, you'll see this up close and personal, so you could actually see more about it. But that's what I got for this week. I wish you all some happy chenilling. If you choose to ever venture. Definitely wish you a happy Wednesday, a happy hump day. I will say, not next week. We are off next week, and the week after we will be on, but Mayhem will be in the house. So we plan on doing something just a little different for you guys. We're going to the Angela Walters spring retreat up in Liberty, Missouri together. So we'll be back after that, but he's going to be physically here in the house, and he's going to quilt while he's at Angela's. So get ready, because we're going to have some fun with our newbie and with our Mayhem. Love me some Michael Man. We call him Michael Man, or I do, at home. So I can't wait to, you listened while doing your guild report. Oh, wow. Woo, you're brave. You got numbers floating around your head and you're listening to somebody talk. Woo, you are brave, girl. So Mayhem will be in the house. The next video that we come out will give more details exactly how we're going to do this. In 2 weeks when we come back. So we have next week off, and then we will see you guys in 2 weeks. I wish you all a happy tax day. I believe it is Monday or Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday, which I thought was so weird. It's the 18th. So whatever day that is. Yeah, that'd be Tuesday. You need to check me on that. Don't quote me on that. My taxes are done, so I don't really know which day it is, but I think it's the 18th is this year. I could be wrong. Maybe it's the 17th. I don't know, but it ain't the 15th because that's Saturday. So, but I wish you a happy tax day. I wish you happy quilting, happy chenilling, and a happy hump day. Whoop, whoop. And in 2 weeks, we will see you soon. I will be on Creative Kingdom this Saturday. So if you're in there, love for you to join us for happy hour. And until next time, may you continue to be inspired, productive, ever so joyful, never stop believing, and never stop making your dreams in quilting come true. We love y'all. See y'all soon.